So I'm one of these persons who love curves layers in Photoshop, but I hate the UI, and I will tell you why. And I also will tell you how we fixed the curves for Photoshop with a simple plugin. So let's say I want to neutralize that color. So what I actually do is I pick that color and I remove the colors that are off, and I add some of the blue, maybe add some green back because this was too much, and maybe even add some red back. So, and now this is the curve that I've created with a lot of clicking. If I messed up with the brightness, I also have to fix the brightness for this one. So this is the curve. And as I said, I hate that UI, I hate that menu, but I love how curves handle colors. This is Stefan, and I want to show you how we fixed the curves layers with a simple plugin for Photoshop. Infinite Curves is a UXP plugin. So it is available for Mac and PC, and also for the ARM Macs, Silicon Macs. And well, it works really simple. You have this color wheel here, and as soon as I click here, I get a curves layer, and I just drag it into that direction. And this is it. It mathematically does exactly the right thing. So it adds the colors where it needs to be added and removes the other ones. And so I can just pick that one, and you see what's happening here with that curves layer. In this video, I will show you how to use infinite curves and what it can do for you, what we put into and what these buttons are. So let's just get rid of this, and I will show you the first row of buttons. So the plus sign. The plus sign gives you a color picker where you can pick a random color in your Photoshop document. So I will pick that background because that's the point that I will choose. The luminosity of that one is here in these curves layers is a 201, and this represents also where this dot is set in the curves layer. Back to RGB, and then I can just drag this into the right direction. So here is a point set. I can also set a second point, let's say for the darks here. If I want to do some color grading for the darks, I can also go into the opposite direction for the darker tones. If you click on the number here, which represents the darkness or the lightness, the brightness, I can also change this so the point will be in a different spot. There's also a second way to do this with the color picker. The color picker picks that color, and it also takes into account the saturation and the lightness, and it creates a point exactly in that color. And here in the layer, I can just invert this. So it's inverted, it inverts the curve or that curve point. So this is neutral gray then. But there is more. We have in the second row, we have presets. So if you want to make the darks, for example, so let's just say I want to have like really cold blacks. You can see that curve adjusts the blacks. And then I want to have highlights that are warm. I can do it like this. So this is the curve that I end up, and can also change the strength of these effects. So I want less of that highlight and more of that cold tone here. Really easy. We have 5 different points here that you can set, and they will be also present in the color in that curve layer. Let's have a look at this. So I will just create these 5 points so we can see it. So the darkness of that point is also shown on the wheel, so you always know which one is which one. And And then we have in the last row, we have blend ifs. So you can just say, I want this only for the darks. It creates a blend if, and it actually blends through, so it's only affecting the highlights, or only affecting the midtones, or only affecting the darks. Or actually, it's not affecting the darks, not affecting the midtones, and not affecting the highlights. So this is very nice if you want to, let's say I want to change this into something that is really reddish, but I want to keep the highlights, then this is the way to go. And as I can change this, you can see that the highlights stay intact. Really, really nice. But obviously there is more. There's always more. I'm a big fan of the RYB wheel, so you can switch this to the RYB wheel. And so now you have the color harmony wheel, or the painter's wheel as it's called. And now I can work with these colors. Let's set this up for the highlights and for the darks. So I can show you the next big thing. So like this. That curve is crazy, so need to go a little bit less crazy with this. And also with this one. So here in the first row we have also this lock symbol where these dots are connected, and now I can move them together. So if you're doing color grading, this is really cool, because the actual color harmony, which is a complementary here, stays the same, but you can move them together, and you get a ton of crazy looks with just a few clicks here. Is really amazing. And obviously you can also add another point, and this one will be also connected then, and can set as many points as you want. And you can see that curve on the right side is really getting crazy. Amazing. If I switch to RGB here, you can see that the colors actually stay the same, the curve stays the same, so you can always switch between RGB and RYB. And if I add another layer here by just, well, creating a new point and adding a new curve like this, if I switch the curve, then I got the settings of the other curve, so this updates automatically, is also a really good thing. Also, this color wheel is fully resizable, so you can make it as big as you want. If you want to have a bigger wheel, or if you have a second screen or really big screen, this helps to really fine-tune your curve layer. And with that slider here, you can turn the intensity down, so you have even more precision in what you're doing. Then there's also the settings in that flyout menu. In the settings, you can, for example, disable the logo. This is also nice. This is something I actually cannot do in this video because I'm doing advertisement. So I keep the logo, but you can get rid of it, so you don't have to see it all the time. You have only the color wheel if you have limited space on your laptop or whatever. Then we have default mask. So now it's off. That means the curves layer is actually created without the mask. Then if you don't want the blend if presets, you can just turn it off if you don't need it, switch it off. Just take space if you don't need it. Then the color wheel has a segmented and a clean view. So this one is the segmented one. So you have these segments here. This is really nice. And then you can set up the blend mode. This is the standard blend mode. If a new layer is created, you can also create it in soft light or in color or in hue or in normal. The layer name, you can set up the layer name. The default strength, this is really, really nice. And you can create a maximum interface size for this one. And then for Luma presets, this one is the second row here is the Luma presets. You can also set up your own. Let's say if you just need, I don't know, 0 and 255, then you just set this up and here we go. And that's it. And if you ever messed it up, you can reset all these settings and you're back to the normal one. So this is Infinite Curves in a nutshell. Is a really powerful yet simple plugin. And well, I found myself working with colors more and exploring a lot of color gradings, especially with the RYB wheel, and especially with the possibility to connect these dots is amazing what you can do with this. And yeah, I hope you have some fun with this. It's in the store right now, and yeah, I'm listening to feedback as always. This was Stefan for the Infinite Tools. Have a nice day. Take care.